to the Wild Ginger Running Gear Chat. It's Wednesday, it's 8:30 p.m, we're live, and I'm about to review for you the Raidlight Revolutiv 12 litre pack, and then I'm going to go on to the 3 litre pack after that. So thank you all for joining me tonight. It's fantastic to have you all watching. And but first of all, I just wanted to start off with a little just recap of what is in the competition for May. So I'm just going to put a load of lovely pictures up on the screen just to inspire you, because in the May competition we have got £130 worth of CMP gear. So I'm just going to put the men's stuff up there and the ladies' stuff, so you can either choose between the men's and the ladies' stuff depending on who wins that. And then we've also got a hydro flask there as well in the competition. And then we've got a Montane cap, and we've got the Montane Gecko, which I haven't tested out yet, but hopefully they'll be sending me one of those as well. And then for the lucky winner will win a place for them and a friend to go to the National Trust Southwest Outdoor Festival this September. And I'm going to be there too, and there's an amazing trail race there, and there is, everyone looks like they're having fun. So that is what's in the Wild Ginger Running competition for this May. So let me just delete all of these from the screen so I can see you again. And the way that you will get access to that competition is you have to support me on Patreon. So if you go to www.patreon.com/wildgingerrunning, you can see how to get in with a chance to win those goodies. They're worth about £400 this month. So I'll draw it at the end of the month, and let's see whose name I pull out of the bag. So hello to everybody here on the live broadcast. I can see Running Rams here, Sean Lockhart, Steve Williams, Mark C, Stephen Mackey, Guy Greatorex, Helen B, Purple Running Wales, and John Gardner. Everyone is here, so that's absolutely fantastic to have you watching, guys. And just a little recap, I went to the OM at the weekend, the OM festival it was, and I actually met Helen and Rob, who are my patrons, and also Pascal as well. So hello to Helen, I know she's here watching tonight, and hello to Rob and Pascal, who will probably be either joining us later or watching us later. So it was absolutely incredible to meet you guys, and now I'm really, really excited to meet the rest of you at the exclusive patron meetup at Keswick Mountain Festival in 2 weekends' time. So really, really psyched for that. We're all going to wear our Wild Ginger Running buffs, and we're going to have a high old time. So if you want to join me there, just check out the Patreon page. It's www.patreon.com/wildgingerrunning. So without further ado, I'm going to review this pack for you, then I'm going to review the 3 litre pack for you, which is this one here that you can see on the screen. So I'm reviewing this, then that. I've also got a couple of other packs. I've got the Raidlight, some other Raidlight packs, just in case you wanted just some comparisons. So I've got the Olmo 5 just here, and I've also got the responsive 8 litre that I wore at the Cape Wrath Ultra, and because I've been testing so many packs since then, I haven't really worn it much, so I haven't actually taken the number off. How sad is that? So I've got those two just for some comparisons there as well. So the really exciting thing about this pack is the bit on the back that also flips forward into a front pouch. So I'm really excited to tell you about that, but let's just do some first things first. So it's the Revolutiv 12 litre. It weighs 230 grams without the water bottles. These are 600 millilitre water bottles, and they weigh 50 grams each. So that is an extra 100 grams, obviously, so that's going to be 330 grams for this whole pack, because you're not going to take no water. If you just took one water, 280 grams, fantastic. So this pod thing that changes around, that is 70 grams individually, so you can actually take that fully off. So if you were to wear this pack with just say one water in it, it'd be a lot less. I'll leave you to work that out for yourselves. So the price of this pack on the Raidlight website at the moment is, wait for it guys, it is high. Okay, so it's £180, which is a lot more than any of the other packs that I've reviewed on this channel. So we'll go through in a minute what you are getting for that price. So £180, I've seen it on Amazon. There is a link in the description in the video below to buy it on Amazon, and I've seen it on there for £170, so I've put that link in. But yeah, around about £170, £180 for this pack. It comes in 3 sizes. It comes in a small, a medium and a large. So I'm currently wearing the medium, and I'll let you know about the fit of that too. We've got some questions from my patrons. We've got some questions from Helen and Guy, who I know are watching. So I'll definitely be answering your questions as well as we go along. So that is fab. Thank you for sending me your questions on Patreon. So, where should we start? Yeah, I know, it's expensive. People in the live chat going, oh my goodness, that's expensive. So I think I should tilt the screen down first of all so you can see the entire pack. Yep, that's good. So, the most prominent feature is probably the bottles, so I'll just talk about them first. So they're 600, let's just get rid of that thing there distracting us. So it's that one that we're talking about now, 12 litres. So the bottles are 600 millilitres, which is great if you want to carry a lot of fluid with you. I wouldn't advise just taking one with you and only having one because you feel a bit lopsided. If you're going to do that, I would fill each one to halfway and squash it down. You can, Helen wanted to know, let's talk about this for Helen just whilst we're here. Is this Helen's? Oh no, that's Guy's. Bear with. So this is Helen's. Okay, so Helen wants to know, are the bottles provided with the vest, and could it house other ones like salmon? So yes, the bottles came with this vest, and I believe from the website it does say that it comes with 2 600ml bottles, which is good. And some packs don't provide that, and that's another 20 or so quid onto the price. So it's good to have those there. Yep, it will fit one of these salmon bottles as well. So it will have no problems fitting one of those. I'll just delete that so you can see this. There'll be no problems to fit a salmon bottle because these are slightly slimmer. And when I did the Cape Bath Ultra, I was wearing the this pack here, the Raidlight Responsive 8-litre pack, and that came with 2 of these huge 600ml bottles, but I just found them quite faffy to get in and out. They were quite tough to get in and out, so I did actually end up using one of these bottles in that. So yeah, there is a case for saying, yeah, if you've already got this type of thin bottle, then pop that in. This bottle here is a slightly different shape of bottle. It's from Montaigne, so it would fit in as well, but this long slim one would definitely be easier in the shape of pockets that these are. It is a bit of a fight. There is a bit of a knack to getting these bottles in. You've basically just got to sort of ease them down, and it's much easier to get them in when you're not wearing the pack. So that's just a little tip for you. Fill them up and put them in before you put the pack on. Otherwise it's a right nightmare. And also make sure that you tighten them up really fully, because earlier I just got that leaked everywhere because I hadn't properly tightened the top on. So just be aware of that as well. The tops of the bottles are cool because they're angled, so you can sort of swivel them round and to drink from, and then swivel them back when you don't need them anymore. So that is cool. Just coming in now, Purple Running Whale says the bottles seem to be exactly the same as the A&EG bottles that he paid £16 for a pair from Amazon. So yeah, other cheaper bottles are available, but I wouldn't like to make any comment on the quality and how long they'll last. So I'll let you know how long these last. I know that these last ages. The previous models, they had like little corners to them, and sometimes they would start to split after a while, but these don't seem to have the same problem, so that's a good improvement. So anyway, there's a hint there for some cheaper bottles that you could put if your pack doesn't come with bottles. So yeah, these are nice, and they also have an up and down movement to them. Like, can you see I'm pulling it up and down, so that if you push it down it locks it, and if you pull it up then you can drink out of it, which is quite nice. You can have it pushed down, because sometimes if you lean over like that, water can just come out and go everywhere. They're just held in by these little bits of elastic here, so these are quite far apart, and if you swivel them around then they don't bash into your face, which is good. So the material that this is made from is, can you see that? It's really see-through. It's really super lightweight, but it's got some stretch to the edge of it. So it's like a sort of a stretch to the edge. and this is probably a good time to talk about the fit. So I'm wearing the medium because in the women's fit of the responsive packs, I was actually a medium, but that's because it was women's fit. So I tried on the small, and when I put all the stuff in, it didn't actually fit anymore. So I've filled this with stuff today. It's like, it's quite, it's quite full of stuff now. I'll show you what I've put in there in a minute. But it's still, if I was going to like jog with this now, I'd want to batten it down a bit more. So I think that I would personally, as a size 12 lady, I would go for the I'd go for the size small. So anyone who's my size or smaller would fit the small, and anyone who's a bit bigger than me, and men who are a bit bigger than me, then definitely go for a medium. And the sizing information is all on the Raidlight website. So the sizing is like pretty standard, I would say, to the other packs. I'd say actually it's a bit bigger than a small in a Salomon, but yeah, I'd say go for a small, and that should fit you if you're my size or a bit smaller, because there's a lot of adjustment in here, like this. You could pull them right in, and also there's this nifty little bit of adjustment at the side there, which I will demonstrate for you now. So there's this lacing system, the boa closure system that you get on like ski boots and stuff. Got them on the Raidlight pack. So maybe you can see it better if it's the other way around, but you just click it backwards and you pull it out, and you've got a whole extra bit of pack there. So you can see I've got it cinched right in on the medium, so that's why I'd go for the smaller pack there. So to put it in, all you do is tighten them up. Weirdly, they both go like the same way, so it feels like you're turning it backwards. So you can pull them right in like this, and see that going in and in and in like that. So I've got it right in to be comfortable enough. But they did have this boa closure system on the this Raidlight pack, but I actually sewed a pocket over the top of it, because I just found that I wasn't really using it, and I thought it was a bit superfluous to requirements, because basically the vest fitted me really, really well. So I just thought, well, there's no point to that. But having tried on one that is slightly too big for me, I now see that it is really useful for adjustment. But I just think the less gadgets on a pack, the better, to be honest. And I just prefer to be able to buy a bigger range of sizes, but that's just me personally, and it's a good way to adjust a pack really simply and straightforwardly with not too much weight. Obviously, if something goes wrong, it is a bit easier to just use Velcro or a pulley strap, but that shouldn't go wrong, and it's quite a nice way to adjust the pack. So then we've got a couple of pockets here. Ta-da! So this guy asked a question just here about whether he wants to know about the pockets, so we'll definitely come on to the main pockets in a minute. Phone. Where is my phone? I plugged it in down here. So I'm just going to show you that this pocket fits a phone, first of all. Oh yeah, I should probably mention a hydration bladder as well. I'll come to that in a minute. I'll look for it. I didn't think about that before, but yeah, so that pocket has definitely fitted a phone. It's quite stretchy, so it just sort of stretches. You can see that it's kind of sticking out a little bit there. It's not like exactly the size of a phone. Nick Pepperell's just saying, is this one a 10 litre? It's the Raidlight 12 litre pack, so this is 12 litres of stuff that you can carry here. So yeah, you can fit a phone in the pack here. So this, I would just put a load of food down there. It's a nice big hole there. You can get your whole hand in nice and easily. And the fantastic thing is you can do this back up just with one hand, just really easily like that. Same at the other side there as well. And then we've got a little whistle just here on the top strap, so you can just blow that if you get into any difficulties. And then the bottom strap is actually both straps have sort of a double sort of strap area to them, so they've got like an up part and a down part just here and here, so you really feel really secure when you pull them in. You can't do these up just with one hand. Like some packs you sort of hook, you sort of take the stuff, the sort of chest strap over and you sort of hook it in. You can't do this on this, but you do need to use 2 hands to do the pack up there. So now I'm going to show you the really cool bit, because this is what makes this pack stand out from all the other packs on the market right now. It's got this little thing on the back just here, and if you unclip these little bits here, then you can take this pack over the top of your head and you can bring it down here like so, and you can access it from here. So you would, if you were running along doing this, oh, it got caught on there. If you were running along doing this, you would then attach these bits here. They're these little, I don't really know what they are. They've got magnets in, so they sort of hone in to the dot that they have to click onto. But sometimes the dot is the dot can go into this square bit here. It needs to hook into this bit here. I'll show you a bit of a close-up of that in a minute. But you then, can you hear that sound? It's sort of clicking on to these little magnetic dots on the pack. I'll just see if I can show you that close in. So my hand is in the way there. Can you see there's a black dot there? If I move this light there, you can see a black dot just there, and so if you clip that on like that, it's sort of honed into it like that, and so that clips onto there like that quite easily. And then you just tighten everything down again. Like, you can tighten it from here. You can't actually tighten it from here, but you can put it in different little loops just there. You can put it in different little hooks just there, so you can make it go a tiny bit up and a tiny bit down, but there's not any adjustment on the actual strap there. But this is it's a little pod, they're calling it, and it's really cool, and I really like it. And it just means that you can access things really easily on the move. Like, as you're running along, you could just be like, oh, I've got some food in here, I'll just get this out. So what I would put in here is like an extra battery charger. Say if my GoPro is running out, I might put my an extra Wild Ginger Running buff in there. I might I've got my waterproof in here as well at the moment. It fits loads in here. I'd say it's about 6 litres, this little pack on the front. And wouldn't it be cool if it also turned itself into a bum bag? You know, like this little bit here, it doesn't, but that would be really cool, wouldn't it? Like, you could use it for fell races and stuff. So this is really cool. These little switches are really easy to use, and you can even quite easily get it back round again as well. And then it just flaps around there for a bit. You'd probably have to slow down for a bit, but then you just sort of hook them down onto the other blobs there and hook it down, and you can pull them tight again as well. One tip is to loosen it off before you take it over, because then it's easier to grab the things from behind and hook them back down again, because they are there, so you will need a little bit of shoulder flexibility for that one. And the great thing is that the Raidlight guy just messaged me today, and he said that these pods, they're going to be available separately as well on the Raidlight website from autumn onwards. So you can buy another one, and that will be £40. So in essence, you can take the whole thing off and you can have a 6 litre pack. You can wear this bit, and that would be a 12 litre pack like it's sold. Or you could buy a whole nother one, clip it on here, and then you'd have an 8 litre vest as well, with one constantly across there. So I don't know any other pack that has this flip over pod. The Om backpacks definitely have a chest pod that you can attach to some of their packs. It just attaches here and here, but it's constantly on the front of your chest. It doesn't sort of flip over and become part of the backpack. So I'm going to take this off now so that I can show you the back of the packs. Rob Budd wants to know if it's going to bounce. So so far I haven't experienced like any more bouncing than any other normal pack would do. You do want to make sure that it's definitely battened down. Just here you've got these attachments just here, so you can really pull in with that and just make sure it's definitely battened down. I would probably, like if I was giving them some feedback, I'd probably also attach an adjustment onto this bit here, because it is quite lengthy and it does sort of, there's some give in it obviously, which you need to put it over your head, but I would also make this an area which you could adjust. I think the adjustment just here, there's only sort of like ½ an inch in the adjustment there, so I think that would be one improvement to the pack, would just to make that bit be a bit more adjustable. The other thing that I'm going to talk about in a minute is poles as well, but let's just go through this top pack here. So to do this, I'm going to sort of gradually unpack the pack, because then I'm going to pack some of those things into the 3 litre pack in a mo. So let's take out the water first of all, because that's really heavy and weighing the pack down. So let's just ease these out of here. These nice 50-gram water bottles. Of course you could use these, and these are 30 grams, or these, they're 37 grams. So then we've got, let me just cross that, there we go. So let's take off this. So this is the adjustment for this top pod, and it's like you get in some bras really, this mechanism here. It just comes off really easily, and this side comes off quite easily. You don't want it to come off too easily, or come off when you're running. But there, so you've got any number of little rails that you can put it on there. So I'm just taking off this pod now, taking it completely off. So I'll show you the backpack individually. So it's really see-through just there, so that should be nice and breathable. And that's the inside of it here as well. It's a bit like a jellyfish, isn't it? It's a bit like you're wearing the inside of a jellyfish. You definitely, there's no padding or anything in the back panel, so you definitely want to pack it so that the soft thing is near your back. So let's just have a look at this pod thing, and it's Raidlight on one side and then Raidlight on the other side. The zip, you'd have to decide. You'd probably want the zip to face that way when you had it on the front, so you'd probably want to be aware of that when you were packing it. That's not an issue. It has got these little compression things at the side there as well, and then I just got like things that I might need immediately in there. So like this is my charging cables for my phone and my GoPro that I do most of my filming on, and then you might want a pair of gloves in there, and it was big enough to put my whole waterproof in. This is the Arva jacket that is good there, and then there you go, the inside of the packet, the inside of the pod, 40 pounds, and this on its own weighs 70 grams. So wouldn't that be cool if that then turned into a little bum bag that you could wear? Like, that would be the ultimate, wouldn't it? The ultimate design there from Raidlight. So anyway, we'll put that to one side for the moment, and then we'll just consider what's in this back panel here. So you've got these 2 pockets, just here and here. They are a little bit, like, they're not that wide, are they? So look, I've got, like, I'm a lady, so my hands aren't as small as some of you guys out there. So that's me getting my hand in there, sort of sewn here. It's the size, just for some scale, it's about the size of a phone, that bit there. So yeah, so you can fit a phone in there. I'd probably put gels in here, because you can reach it from behind, but it's a little bit difficult to get your hand in here, if I'm being totally honest. It's really stretchy fabric, but not at the top, because it's got this really nice, like, seamless laser cut welded seam on it, which is really, really nice, but it isn't as stretchy as some of the other packs that you get. And then you've got these like little laser cut holes as well here, so there's no stitching involved with these holes at all, so that makes it nice and light. This is a really stretchy thing. I bet you could fit quite a lot in here. Let's just see. You could, if you fit some stuff in that sort of pokes out, then that would be handy. You could probably get to that quite easily. So there you go. You could stuff a load of stuff like that in, stuff a gel in there and all that kind of stuff. Stick a baguette in there if you wanted to. And then that's also got straps around the side there that just keep it cinched in if you don't have a lot of stuff in there. And then I just would put stuff that I wouldn't access very often in here, like my waterproof trousers would go in that bit, and then insulating jacket would go in that bit, and then first aid kit, hopefully you wouldn't have to use that in that bit there. So that's everything from that bit there, and there you go, that's another, that would be another, so it's 12 litres in total, so that would be another 6 litres in this part here. So the other sort of nice thing about these is that they've both got double zips. Both the pod and this main compartment here have got double zips, so you can have a teeny bit of it open if you want to, or you can have it opening from one side or the other side. You just have to not do what I kept doing and grabbing the whole thing and going, oh, I've opened the pack, and you haven't opened the pack. So you just have to remember that. So then, yeah, so that's the pack. You can see me through there. That's the pack without any things in it. And so I just probably should, I'll go through some questions in a minute as well, but yeah, I'll go through those questions in a sec. But I just want to show you about the poles, because this is where the pack doesn't quite work for me. Poles. So I've got a couple of different types of pole. So these are the Lucky Trail Vario poles. They're not like the lightest ever things that you'd use, but they're really sturdy and they're really good for like long distance things. So just like in the other Raidlight pack, that I was wearing, you put the poles across the top of your chest like that, like a dog carrying a bone. So I'll just demonstrate on this one. I think this is what there's like scant information on the Raidlight website, but I think this is for poles. Probably somebody's going to come back to me and go, Claire, you're an idiot, this is not for poles. But having used other Raidlight packs, I'm potentially guessing this is for poles, and this is quite a comfy place to wear the poles compared to up here, where it can sometimes graze your sort of like your collarbones and the top of your chest, rib bones up here. The only thing with this is that these are quite chunky as poles go. They're not like the slimmest of pole, and unless you put the gloves in as well, they sort of rattle around. I've had to tie them up with a bit of Velcro here so that they don't rattle around. So if these are pole things, and it would be quite a nice way to carry poles, it's kind of it's comfy enough, and like as long as you don't swing your arms too much whilst you're running, that is an okay place to carry them. I don't know if that's actually what it's for. Please do correct me in the YouTube comments below if this is not a good way to carry poles, but I've just seen it done on the other Raidlight packs, more up here. If these were more slanted, but these are for the bottles, so that's what those are. Yeah, and if you had a smaller pair of poles, like for example these Mountain King ones here, which are a lot slimmer, like 2 of those wouldn't even be as fat as those ones, then you'd want some adjustment here. So you'd want these to be able to be pulled down, you know, like in the same way that you pull this chest strap across, you'd want an adjuster on that to just pull it down and batten it down. So yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about poles in this pack at the moment. I can't see, but like you could carry them in these bits here, but it's going to be really hard to slot a folded pair of poles into these. Like the pod has them too, so you could slide a pole potentially like all the way down here, but then how are you supposed to get the pod from here to here if you've got poles carrying there? And presumably if you're carrying poles, you'd want to put your poles away before you do all this manoeuvring with the pod. So if anybody can shed some light on that, then that would be cool, because having used this pack a few times now, I haven't really figured out the best way to carry poles with it. So then we have some questions. So we've got Nick Pepperell says, cool innovation. It is. I think it's really cool. I really like this pack. I think I'm going to send this one back and get them to send me a small one so that I can use it potentially at Keswick Mountain Festival, running around with a small one on. I might just wear it like this because I'm into carrying a little at the moment. And then Nick Pepperell also asks, thanks Claire, is it heavier as a result? Is what heavier as a result? Of what? What's he saying? Nope, I don't understand that question. You're going to have to message me again, Nick. Is it heavier as a result? As what? Yes, if you add another pod to it, it's definitely going to be heavier by 70 grams, but I'm not sure what you mean, so you have to get back to me on that one. Okay, Guy Greatrex, you should review some bum bags / belts. Yeah, so I've tried, like, the first ever time that I did a fell run, I went up Lattrig in the middle of winter and slipped over in front of some walkers, and they thought I was absolutely mad. So I wore a bum bag for that, and it was really annoying because I got it around my waist, and I was like, yeah, got it around the waist, blah, 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 and it just kept riding up because, of course, like, I'm a woman, so I've got hips, so it just wanted to ride up all the time into my smaller bit of hip, like my waist, which is here, and then once it had done that, you just needed to tighten it again so it didn't bob up and down, and then it was across your stomach, and it just was really uncomfortable. So for me, bum bags don't work. I know for a lot of women they do, but I hate bum bags, and I always go for a backpack. Having said that, I need to start using my naked band a bit more, because that looks like a type of a band that wouldn't jump up and down quite so much. Maybe I need to wear them a bit lower. When I used a big hiking backpack, one of those giant bags, I used to always tie it up around here, like around the bony bit here, and it seems to not ride up because this is sort of a flat bit here, but the moment it starts to go here, it sort of slides up. So yeah, I don't really like bum bags. Maybe somebody else can do some bum bag testing. So poles, Nick Pepperell says, poles, the Innovate 2-in-1 race pack has this nailed. Yeah, I'm guessing he's talking about poles. So he says, is the pack heavier compared to other 12-litre packs as a result of being a modular design? Okay, so for those who were listening at the beginning, the whole bag, including this pod here, is 230 grams. So it's not any heavier as a result of being a modular design. It's really, really light, this pack. This is a hugely light pack in comparison just to other Raidlight packs. So this is an 8-litre pack, so this is a 12-litre pack with the pod on as well. So this is an 8-litre pack, and it weighs it weighs about 260 grams. So that is slightly heavier. And that's without bottles as well. All these weights are without bottles. And then this pack here, which is the Olmo 5, this weighs 400 grams. So a pack which is 230 grams, then even if you add 100 grams in for bottles, that's 330 grams is still really good for a 12-litre pack, I would say. So that is good. Yay, we're on the same page now, me and Nick. That's great. Okay, so have I answered everybody's questions about this pack, which is the Raidlight Revolutiv 12-litre pack with the amazing pod design, which goes either here or here, like so. Or you could buy a second one and put it here and here at the same time, and really weigh yourself down. So now I'm going to load some of the kit into the 3-litre pack to show you what that is like. So we just take this one off and find the 3-litre pack, which is here. So this one, so I'm really impressed with that that one. I would probably give that, in the initial stages, I'd give that probably an 8.5 out of 10, possibly more if they can explain to me how to carry poles easily. So this one is tiny. It weighs like an incredible 57 grams. Like that is incredibly it's incredibly light. You would not even notice that you were wearing that. However, you might notice you're wearing it when you start to add water in, which is considerably heavier. So it's super, super light. This is obviously just designed for racing in really hot places where you're not going to need a lot of gear, but you might need to take a lot of water with you. So this is a nice little option for when you're in one of those hot situations. It is a staggering £135, which is a lot of money. So personally, living in Britain, we don't tend to get a lot of times when it's like so hot and sunny that you don't need to take much stuff with you, apart from last year. Last year was the exception. So I would never probably go for a pack this small, just because I would just take a bigger pack and just fill it with less things. So I'm going to now demonstrate how tricky it is to get these bottles. They're full right now. I'm just going to now demonstrate how tricky it is and what a knack there is to these pockets, because they're just not very giving at the top. So there's a real knack to getting these in. You sort of fold the bottom bit in. It's hard doing it at this angle as well. So you fold the bottom bit in, and then you sort of work it down like that. There we go. So there, you sort of work it into the pack, and can you see like how hard that is to do? It's much easier to put the salmon bottle in there. So that's why for the Cape Wrath Ultra I didn't bother taking these 600ml bottles. So it was cold there anyway, you don't need to carry that much water. But there, finally got that in. Let me just show you how much easier it would be to get a salmon bottle in there first of all. So let's just blow that one up and just pop that one in. Da-di-da-di-da. Look how much easier that was. Just a little bit more give in that. And of course, in this bag, and probably should have said with the other bag, there's a bit of elastic there just to pop over the top, just to stop that bottle from wiggling itself out. So there you go, that's that one. Now let's bear with me everyone while I get this one in. Oh cool, Nick Pepperell says, great review as always. Thanks Nick. And he says, hope to see me on the trails. Yes, I hope to see you too. Nick says he's doing the UTS 50 this weekend. Oh wow, cool. That looks like a really tough race. The guy wanted me to go there and do some metering, but I think he'll have budget for that next year, I think. So, right. And then we've got just a little recap on the 12 litres. Guy Greatorex saying the 12 litre would be good for the Cape Wrath or self-supported races with the extra pod. Yeah, totally agree with you there, Guy. That I would probably, if it had a good attachment for poles, then I think it would be like my next go-to pack, I think, because it's just really cool. But Stephen Mackey is saying that he's in for the 12 litre so far because he doesn't use poles, so it would be okay. Yeah, so if you don't use poles, then that pack will be absolutely perfect. And Robert Montgomery is moaning about the weather. I know, hasn't it been an awful day today? Yeah. And then he says it's a bit faffy. I don't think it's that faffy, the pack over the top. I think it's really, really simple. Like compared to, you know, like some of the OM stuff that I've been showing you, which has, like, it does a lot with like pieces of cord and stuff that you have to sort of thread through. I think this is the least faffy, gizmo, gadgety type thing that I've seen in a pack for a long time. So that's good. Then we're having general conversation about the rain here. The rain in Scotland. Yep, fab. Okay, so this is the 3 litre one. Let us move on. And I'm just going to do this up for you so you can see. This one, this is, again, a medium. And I think I probably would even more definitely need a small in this one. So if I tighten these a lot now, this is basically the same deal as the 12 litre pack. You've got the whistle here, just right at the top so that you can reach that. These go in here like this, which is exactly the same as the other pack. I'll just turn around so that you can see the whole thing. It's a little bit like a sports bra with pockets, I think. This is, and it's got the same pockets at the side. Let's just do Guy Greatorex's phone test to see what we can fit in there. So there we go. The phone just poking out the end there, but because it's such stretchy fabric, if you pull the zip up like that, you can just squeeze it in there. So that it's a little bit smaller, but you can fit a phone in there. You'd possibly struggle with one of those big plus phones. Maybe you could put that in the back bit, just there. So there is also some pockets just at the back. These ones are harder to do up and down with two hands. Also the zip is slightly different. It's sort of like a little mini toggle there, whereas the other ones had this type of a zip there with a cord. So there are some other pockets, I think there's some other pockets around here that I've been using. Oh, where's that? So it's harder as a pack to use, this one. I'm going to have to take that off to just exactly locate where the pockets are for the side. It could be that there aren't any, but these ones are they're so sort of thin that you sometimes don't know whether there's a pocket there or not. So let's just see. Yes, I knew there was a pocket there. So it's just so sort of tight on me to get the fit right that it's hard to get into that pocket from behind. So you'd have to have something, say, sticking out of that one. But it is quite roomy as a pocket. That's how big it is there. So you could probably fit a whole waterproof in that, to be honest. That could stretch out to give you probably, 3 or 4 litres of space in that bit there. But it is hard to access that, I'm not going to lie, on the move. And also, look how wide the opening is as well. I can't even get my hand back out. So yeah, you'd want to have slim hands to be using this one effectively. So right, let's do this up, and I just want to show you a little bit of why I'm unsure about this pack right now and why I probably personally wouldn't buy it, because so basically it's got these nice wide straps, but as soon as you put in these 2 600ml bottles, they sort of get narrower because of the weight of the bottles. So you have to keep pulling them apart again. So say you were to just run about like this, it's hard to not get this pack bouncing around. I think I just definitely need the smaller one. But yeah, so I've got that really properly pulled in as much as I can now, and that should be all right. But these straps here, they sort of have a little bit of give in them at the sides, and so they don't fit as well. It's probably because I'm a woman and this is a unisex pack. So if you have like a flat chest, if you're a man, then it will definitely fit really well. But there's just something about this pack that doesn't quite sit right for me with the woman's shape. So I think, yeah, it's just sort of a bit bouncy. So I think I just need a smaller version of this one to make it work. But you can see how the neck isn't quite kind of comfy, and it sort of tends to bunch up just because of the weight of these 2 bottles. I think if you just put like 400ml in here, then it'd be a lot better, but they're designed to take 600, so I've been testing it with 600, so it does sort of creep inwards, this design here. But if you weren't a woman, then it would probably be fine, because basically this is a unisex pack. If you're a lady and you want to carry a small amount of stuff, then the one I really like at the moment is this Adidas Terex pack. It's the Agravic pack, and there is a little bit more going on than this 3 litre pack, but personally I would always buy this kind of 5 litre pack rather than a 3 litre pack, or it's just 5 or 8 litres, because you can pull it right down, so if you've not got a lot of stuff in, it still stays and it doesn't bounce around. But if you do want to carry some more stuff, then you've got the opportunity to carry more, and then you only need to buy 1 pack rather than one of these and then a bigger one and then a bigger one. I'd say just stick to this kind of 5 to 8 litre size, just like this, if you're a lady. If you're a man, go for it, because it's fine. The other one I would recommend, I can't actually show you because I'm really gutted, but I sent it to my friend Sabrina Vergi because she's doing the Dragon's Back race in 2 weeks' time, and I said that she came on a photo shoot for me, and I said you can have this Salomon 8-set pack if you come on this photo shoot for me, and she did come, and so I had to give her the pack. So now she's going to be using it on the Dragon's Back race and testing it out for me, but I'm just really sad because I really loved it, and now I don't have it anymore. But basically, if you're a lady, especially if you've got a bit up top, then the Salomon Advanced Skin 8-set ladies fit is fantastic, because the 2 bottles, they sit down here with kind of long straws, rather than carrying everything up front here and basically making you have a huge chest area like that. The other pack which is really good in that sense is the Montaigne Fang and Jaws, because you can put the bottles in this way, or you can put them in the lower pockets as well. So that's just a couple of options there for different ways of carrying bottles, especially if you are a lady. So Robert Montgomery is saying he didn't even know Adidas did running packs. No, neither did I. But when I was interviewing Holly Page recently, a couple of months ago on the YouTube channel, she's just started to be sponsored by Adidas, so apparently that was one of the main clinchers why she decided to go for the sponsorship with them, because she thought if they did a running pack, then that would be fine. Yeah, so Adidas do make running packs. Who knew? And they're pretty good. So Stephen Mackey has a really good suggestion. Maybe get your hubby to try them and give a wee review, so that we can see a larger chap wearing them. That's a really good idea. I was going to get him to come in actually and wear the pack, but I'm not sure that he'd be up for that. But I was going to get him to run about in the garden beforehand, and I was going to video it, and I was going to play it to you. However, it was peeing it down with rain, so I didn't feel like I could make him go out in the rain and run about in a backpack for me. But seeing as you've said that, I will make him do that for future reviews, so that I can get a bit better testing from the men's point of view. I also thought about buying, like one of those models that you, like a dressmaker's model that you can make bigger and smaller, and I can put the pack on it and it can be here, and I can demonstrate all the points without having to sort of turn around and show things like that. And I can make that bigger and smaller, and we can actually see how big it will go and how small it will go with all the adjustments. So I thought that would be quite a good thing to do for like next year's reviews or something like that. Yeah, so it was raining, so that's why I didn't get Steve to go and test the pack. So that is the Raidlight 3 litre pack, and that is the back of it, just there, like so. And the pockets are around here, so that is difficult. Unless it's poking out, that's going to be difficult for you to get into those pockets there, so just bear that in mind. But I think it'd be fine if you had something in there that was poking out a bit, or a gel, that you can just grab the top of, so that's fine. Okay, so those are the two packs reviewed for tonight. So I think I've answered both Guy and Helen's questions. Let me just check. So Helen was asking about the bottles. Yes, you can put different bottles like salmon in the vest, that's no problem at all. And then just check that I've answered Guy's question. How big are the main compartments? 6 litres on the 12 litre. And are there any pockets inside? He said, that's an interesting question. No pockets in there. Quite cool if there was one across there, wouldn't it? Like a little key pocket or something. And then let's just check on this one. I don't think there are any pockets inside from using it prior. Ah, there is! Oh, good job you asked that question, Guy. There is a pocket inside this one. Not delved deep enough. Wow, that's great. So yes, there is a little pocket. It's actually quite a big pocket inside there. So it goes all the way down to there, that pocket. So it's the size of the pack, size of the front of the pack, that bit of pocket there, with maybe just 1 inch taken off for where the zip is, just there. Okay, so that's a nice big other pocket in there. I suppose there isn't a pocket in the pod, because then when you flip it over, maybe it would rub on the front of you like that. So maybe that's why there. So good job you asked that question, Guy. Thank you very much. And the size guide I've been through, this is the medium, and I'm a size 12. Hydration bladder compatible? That is a great question. So there's no holes for a hydration bladder to come out of. This one is not hydration bladder compatible at all, because you can't fit anything else in there. This one, you could potentially fit a 1 litre hydration bladder just in the bottom part of the pack, just there. You could fit it in there, and then you could have it coming out via these. You could just open them slightly at the side there, like that. You could leave it open like that, but there is no actual hole for a hydration bladder in this pack that I can see. So yeah, nope, there's no hole there. Oh, there is something here that I've forgotten to show you. There's, at the bottom of the pack, there's these 2 stretchy bands here. I did try and put a pole in it, but it won't fit a couple of pairs of poles. This one is just for stuff like stuffing, like say you had it on and you wanted to stuff your waterproof under at the back there, or just like a hat and gloves or something. Just have to be careful with this thing that you're stuffing something in that is not going to fall out. So stuff's quite a big thing in there. It won't take poles, sadly. So yeah, that's the only question about this pack, is where to carry the poles. Again, I'm looking at this side compartment here because it is quite large like that, but then you'd need a loop there. So you'd need to be able to pull them in so that the poles didn't disappear. So again, I'm puzzled about the poles on this pack. So if anybody can shed some light, then do hit me up in the comments below. Guy Greatrex is saying, love a pocket inside a pocket. Thanks. I love a pocket inside a pocket too. Singing off the same song sheet there. Then Neve, good name, Uchale. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Do you wear a heart rate strap? And if yes, how is it with the pack? No, I do not wear a heart rate strap. Let me show you what I use. I use this. I use the Garmin 225, and one day I will upgrade to the 235, but I use this because it has the heart rate in the wrist. So I hate wearing chest straps because you've already got a bra going on, then you've got a backpack going on, you do not need another thing slipping around, and the adjustment's always really annoying. So I use this, and the heart rate is on the wrist. So you just put it on, and it doesn't work quite as well as a chest strap. However, in good conditions, it's exactly the same as a chest strap. So I've worn this with, I've got a bike computer as well, which I use on my bike, and I actually have a bra with the pads that match up to this. It's a Garmin 5 Edge 500. So I've got a bra which has the two pads in the strap of the bra, but for me it's not a good enough bra to run with. It's not supportive enough, but it is fine for biking. So I wear the heart rate strap for biking, but it's in my bra, so I don't notice it. Where was I going with that one? Yes, so I've tested both at the same time. That's what I was going to say. So I've tested chest strap on this plus bra, and I've tested this at the same time, and it comes up with exactly the same heart rate, unless you're really cold. Because my view, it's coming up with my heart rate there. Can you see? It's like, oh, I'm excited. Nearly 80. It's a good workout doing these. So the great thing about these is no chest strap. The bad thing is that when you're really cold, it doesn't pick up the blood flow, especially as your pulse will be really slow, and there won't be tons of blood coming through to your hands, because when your hands get really cold and the blood will kind of drains from your extremities. So then this will register and not a rating that you're just like, no, I'm working way harder than 50 beats a minute. I'm going up a hill and I'm freezing. So you definitely know that it doesn't get the heart rate right all the time, especially I found in the cold. But unless you're like an elite athlete needing to measure every single second of your heart rate, then for me that's not too much of an issue. And I still, the benefits of having it on your wrist far outweigh any faffing around with it on the chest strap. So I can't give any information about how a chest strap, a heart rate monitor chest strap would rub with a backpack, but I do know there are some bras that incorporate it into the bra strap. So if you don't have too big a chest and you can use that type of a bra, then definitely that's something to look into. So I hope that answered your question, Neve, and I hope that I pronounced your name slightly right. Do feel free to let me know if I didn't. Cool. John Gardner says Garmin Forerunner 235 is my watch. HR monitor isn't perfect, but it's good enough. Yeah, see, I would agree with you there, John. Thank you very much for adding to the broadcast. So, what's the time? It's 52 minutes I've been wittering on. Right, let's stop talking now about these packs. And I'm going to tell you what's coming up next Wednesday, because we've been doing reviews for 3 weeks in a row because I had loads of gear in. So I was doing those Innovate 275 rock lights with the graphene grip. I've now sent them to a friend, a really good foul running friend of mine in Lancaster, and she's going to continue testing those out for me, really beasting them. Then last week we tested the Phantom 12 litre pack. That's the last review that I did. Check that out if you haven't seen it. And then today we've just been looking at the Raidlight packs. So I'll tell you what is coming up next week on Wild Ginger Films, Wild Ginger Running. We are going to be speaking to somebody who's about to do the Dragon's Back race. So Neve said I did a great job with the name. Yes, thanks, Neve. And she says she got the HR strap for HR training, but when I wear a hydration pack, get really chafing really bad. That sucks. I don't know what to suggest on that, apart from to just keep changing it, keep faffing with it, keep making like tiny adjustments with it. When I used to wear one back in the old days before these things were, with the wrist things were invented, I used to sort of have it underneath my bra, underneath the bra strap, so then it didn't chafe at the same time. You could also get a different heart rate strap. Some of them are softer than other ones, and then some of them they will pair up with any watch if you tell them to, so you could try a different type of heart rate strap. I know the Sunto ones are really nice and soft, so you could potentially try one of those. But if your watch does record HR, I'd just use the watch, to be honest, unless you're a pro. Hey, right, so lots of people liking the reviews. Thank you, Running Ram. Bram Van Diemen has just joined us. Hey, bit late to the party tonight, Bram. But you can watch again later. It's fine. Guy Greatrex has got some new gear. Yes, I saw this on social media. So Guy Greatrex has just got some Innovate Terra Ultra G260s. So definitely let us know how that graphene grip gets on, Guy. That's amazing. Robert Montgomery has a good idea actually for Neve there. Cut the heart rate bit out and stitch it onto your sports bra. So maybe if you're a good sewer, that might work, Yeah, see if that works. Give it a go, Neve. Okay, so without further ado, I must stop rabbiting on this evening at some point, but I just want to let you know what's going to happen next week. So I'm really excited because no other than Joe Faulkner from Nav for Adventure is going to come on, because he is about to do his 5th Dragon's Back race. So he is an absolute veteran of the event and a total machine. He's a mountain leader and mountain instructor by trade, and he owns a company called Nav for Adventure. So he teaches navigation, and he teaches mountain skills, and he organises races. He's got 3 or so races that he does up in the Lake District. He does like the safety cover on all sorts of races, like the Spine race and the Cape Wrath Ultra, stuff like that, like all the big races. He's there doing the safety. So he is doing the Dragon's Back for the 5th time. So bear in mind, this is like 220 miles over 5 days over the harshest Welsh mountainside that you can imagine. So it's like it goes over Crib Goch on the first day. It goes over the Welsh 3000ers, all of them in the first day. So right at the end of the first day, you've got like Crib Goch to deal with, and it's like 40 miles on the first day. So Joe is going to join us next Wednesday, and I'm going to be asking him all of the top tips. So I don't think any of you guys are doing the Dragon's Back race, but it'll be really useful if any of you want to do any ultras, or if you want to do any multi-day runs in your if you want to plan any of them into your year, because Joe is just like a mine of useful information about navigation, about what kit to take, about he says he doesn't do any training, but he'll be useful about training as well, and mental attitude as well, because he's not getting any younger. The first Dragon's Back race that Joe did was in 1992, and that was the first one that they ever did, and only a few people finished it. And if you remember, Helen Diamond-Tydays at the time, now she's Helen Whitaker, and Martin Stone won the race as a mixed pair, and everyone was like, oh my god, a woman won the race, la da da. Nowadays it's just normal, but back in the day that was considered really, really like amazing. So Joe was there running that race with them. So if you've got any questions about the 1992 Dragon's Back race, then fire away to Joe next week on Wednesday. Then he did the 2012 Dragon's Back race when Shane Oley came back and he reintroduced it. He did the 2015 race, and now the race runs every other year, with the Cape Wrath Ultra being its kind of sister race, and it ran last year, and it's going to run, no, it didn't run last year, it ran in 2017, and it's going to run in 2019. That's in 2 weeks' time. So we'll have Joe in on the programme, and he will be telling us some top tips for multi-day races, and with a special emphasis on the Dragon's Back race. So I'll be putting up a little post on Patreon so that all the patrons can ask their questions, and so definitely sign up on Patreon if you want the opportunity to ask questions, like gear questions in advance, or to guarantee that I answer them, and also to ask any of our elite athletes any questions as well. If you sign up to me on Patreon and you sign up to the tier, which allows you access to prioritise your questions in the live broadcast, then you'll definitely get them answered. So just checking that there's no more questions about the packs, but I don't think there are. I think that's everything. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been absolutely fantastic spending the evening with you. And if you managed to come in late, then just watch again. But basically, it's been wonderful. I'm really looking forward to speaking to Joe on Wednesday. There'll be a Q&A out on Monday, and then just speaking to Joe on Wednesday. And then it's time for Keswick Mountain Festival. So I'll see some of you lovely patrons there. Fantastic. So I'll just end with a nice quote from Sean Lockhart, which I think you'll find sums up the entire review today. Brilliant review. Take care all. Have an amazing week. Have a great weekend on the trails. And I will see you very soon.